Alright YouTube, this will be part 5 of my huge RC trophy truck build videos. I don't know, they're all on a playlist now, so you can be put through 25 minutes of torture in one big chunk. Anyway, I'm drilling out the wheels and the hubs today, so I thought I'd give you a bit of an update. The wheels I'm using are mini quad wheels, steel, quite inexpensive, they're about £6 each. By the time you bought the tyres, the inner tubes, it tends to add up. But anyway, originally they're a 3 stud wheel, came with an adapter plate, looked like that was used to obviously fix to the rear axle of the mini quad. Quite a simple design. Now they're a split rim. The front and the rears are actually different widths. There's about 1/4 inch in the difference there. I don't know if you can make that out. Obviously it would make the rear wheels about 1/2 inch wider and wider on the track than the front. So what I've ended up doing is splitting the rims and putting half a front and half a back together. It changes the offset of the wheel, which, looking at the way it's going to sit on the axles and on the front, is not a bad thing. So I've got a wider half sat front with the narrow one at the back, which will also give me more clearance when I come to put calipers on the front discs in between the tyre and the disc. So basically, excuse me, the cutout for the fronts is to take that end of the wheel carrier. Now the rears, because I've actually cut down, these are some go-kart front hubs, originally 110mm, with bearings set in the recesses in there and also in the front end there. Now I've cut them down and these will eventually fit on the end of the axle like so. I've got to make an insert for the hubs that will give me obviously a keyway on the inside to carry the axle at 16mm and fit snugly, maybe either a grub screw or a heat shrinker, a liner into it, probably out a mild or something. Got to get someone on a lathe to do some turning for me for that, but that'll obviously hold that. And then I've opened out the hubs using quite a heavy duty reamer that I've had for some time. It's a slow and arduous process, but it needed doing so that I could adapt the go-kart hubs to take the quad wheels, if you can see there. Obviously that's just one half of this side. The other half, as you can see by that cream line, I've still got to open up. I've re-drilled it to allow for the wheel to be removed without the rim being split, because originally it only had 3 bolts holding the pair together, but it meant if you obviously needed to take a wheel off, you'd be splitting a rim, so then you'd have to inflate it and everything else. So if you can see there, I've drilled it out and took it up to about 7mm just to take some bolts, so 3 will hold the rims together while 3 will hold the rims to the hub. So I've got those 2 rears to cut out still. Obviously I've done the work I needed on that hub. Looks alright, kind of neat. Again, a lot of file time. The tyres I'm using again are off a mini quad. They're around, they're just around 10 inch diameter. The wheels are like 4 inch. For the scale of everything on the truck, I used the wheels and tyres that were available to me to give me a better guide to the scale, if you like. I used a model and took some measurements off a model, calipered up, and then I think it was 8.1 times the original size of this model would give me the sizes and dimensions I needed for the full size truck, based on the wheels on the model were 8.1 times smaller than the tyres and wheels that I was going to be using. So the sort of scale, it's not too fixed. It will be, I suppose you could say it will be a quarter scale, but I'm not fixed to that. I'm going to make it so it looks right, not necessarily to fill some criteria about how big something's got to be. So I've been finishing the fronts. As you can see, that's the front wheel with the hub carrier, excuse me, and also the disc on the back. It had originally just a 5mm set of screws holding the disc in to the central carrier, which looks like that. But what I've done is I've opened the fronts up to take the larger bolts that will be holding the wheel together, and the rear I've opened up as well so I can put a bolt straight through and not expect this. It's not too good quality, the steel and disc casting, so I didn't want to rely on the thread that's in that to hold everything together, so I can put a proper bolt through. And obviously that sits, those hubs sit on the the wheel carriers will sit holding onto the hubs, bolted up, as you can see there. But it looks a bit better with 6 studs rather than 3. I need a couple more tyres, one for the spare and another wheel that I can drill out and get ready for when I finally get to fixing up. As I say, for the rear end it's just basically making the inserts for these that I can bolt down with a keyway cut, which will hold them nicely to the axles at the back. So I've still got to cut out the balance, cut the excess out of these, which is something I'm not looking forward to. I've done a few and they're a bit of a pain. Anyway, just a quick update, so stay on it, subscribe, tell all your friends. In a bit.